First, as a physician who's had my license for 40 years, and I had a very strong biochemistry background and worked as an anesthesiologist, taking care of people's bodies in a very special way. I can say, and seeing what's happening with the X39 and the other patches, I can say without a doubt that this is the most significant medical breakthrough in my lifetime. And do we have a big hand for that? This is,
wow. Hello.
To have something that connect, the X39 patch is one of the most amazing products in medicine. And stem cell activation, or more stem cells, is one of the hottest topics in medicine. So you have the best product in one of the hottest areas, and your health is your greatest wealth. For me, it's a no-brainer. And people say, well, will it work for this? Well, it will work for that. Well, we can't say that it necessarily will. There's tens of thousands of testimonies that are out there where people have experienced dramatic results with various problems and symptoms and diseases. But it's a no-brainer to try the X39 and just see if it works. And then when you recommend the X39, don't just have them do it for 3 days. What I'd say to people, if I had one thing that you can do, it would be listen with love. When you're talking to someone, don't just listen to what they're saying, what they mean to be saying, but what is God saying through that person to you? Listen and care and hear more than just at the superficial level. And when they know that you're listening to them, that you actually care about them, they're going to open up. And as they open up, they'll share problems that they have with their health or with their family or whatever. And then that's an opportunity to share about the patches. And from my perspective, as a physician, with what I've known and what I've seen, for me, it's actually criminal not to be sharing.
Wow.
Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring.
People that don't want to be injected, it really can do some work and help them out.
It actually wasn't that much of a stretch, and I want to tell you why. So I fell down the rabbit hole of what you might call quantum medicine 4, 5, 6 years ago. And I was fascinated. I mean, I couldn't stop reading, just paper after paper and book after book, because this is stuff that got lost on the conventional medical community because of the push for pharmaceutical drugs and surgeries, because as you all realize, that's how the system makes its money, right? When the pills are not rolling off of the prescription delivery line, when the surgeons are not taking patients to the OR, no one is getting paid. There's nothing wrong with surgery. I refer to surgeons. I had a surgery on Thursday for a aplastic nevus on my shoulder. But we need to be helping people to stay healthy, now more than ever. I mean, I can't stress that enough. This country's in so much trouble. This world's in so much trouble because people are not well. And you can unlock the healing potential in somebody's body by helping them or by getting different types of light into their life. And when I started to hear people in this world of LifeWave talk about guys like Robert O. Becker and his work on the body electric and electrical current and regeneration, I read Becker's work 4, 5, 6 years ago where he talks about how the body is this big electrical system. That's how acupuncture works. That's why the AccuLife patches make so much sense for me. And I've been using light since then. I mean, I'll have people buy these very expensive, very sophisticated light therapy products that have the same peaks at these patches. And this was another thing that got me off the fence, is I had a number of patients say to me, Dr. Stillman, it's really great that you want us to all go out and get sunlight for vitamin D and infrared light, and you want us to buy saunas and sit in them for 20 minutes or 40 minutes, or you want us to get these fancy lights that are $250 to get started and $1,000 for the big nice ones. But A, we don't want to put that money down on that right now, and B, I don't have 20 minutes to do more than brush my teeth and shower in the morning. I have kids, I have dependent parents, I have a job, I want to be able to go to the gym, I want to be able to have a life. So what can you give me that fits into my life? And that's what's great about these, is that like they're on
Tell
my.
them what you've seen, maybe what you've just experienced here that kind of proves, but what you were thinking when you started engaging and seeing what this LifeWave opportunity has compared to anything else you've seen. Maybe the exclusivity, whatever you want to share with us.
Well, first of all, I will tell you that as a primary care physician, we mainly went into medicine to help people and not really to make money. So, multi-level marketing didn't seem like the right thing to do. It was like a violation of our Hippocratic oath. And so I've been in I've had good products through network marketing, but I never really promoted them. I was scared to, because what would they think of me if I started making money off of telling about a product like Protandim that could, reverse their aging. So when I learned about the patches and I started using them, it's like what he said. My Hippocratic oath is first not to do any harm, but if I'm not sharing this technology that is changing people's lives and giving them their lives back, that's doing harm.
Dr. Prison, now you're a vascular surgeon. You deal with veins. How about blood flow and for your heart? How do you feel the X39 does, or any other things that you've seen in your patients or your friends that have been applying the X39 since you started?
Well, the inside lining of all your blood vessels is called the endothelium. And when the endothelium gets inflamed, then you've got trouble. And this is where all sorts of things can start, like blockage of your carotid arteries, blockage in your heart vessels, blockage anywhere, even in the veins in your legs. And inflammation generally is the source of most disease. And I would just tell a kind of a personal testimonial story of my wife Leslie, who experienced a miracle on the X39 patch. And she had colonoscopies periodically. And one time the doctor called her and said, "You got to come back from Colorado and have surgery in Phoenix." So she had the surgery, and luckily she dodged a bullet. It was very early. She was cured from that. Every 6 months after that, she had to have another colonoscopy, and it came back the same way. Inflammation. About 6 months ago, or 8 months ago, she had a colonoscopy, and the doctor comes in recovery, and he says, "What the heck are you doing? Your colon looks like you never had Crohn's." She says, "All I've been doing is wearing this little patch for a couple months." He says, "Unbelievable." And the biopsies came back normal colon. So we consider that our miracle testimonial.
Now, Dr. Davidson, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just tell me, after all the calls, what kind of got you going? What was something that was your aha, got you thinking about, and I want to call her back, I want to look into this, and then what did you find out after you dove in a little more?
I think one of my aha moments is I had a guy named Tom. He's 78 years old. He first came to me 5 years ago for chiropractic. He had been on a pacemaker for 25 years, and he was super skeptical. We got him into the office, and through nutrition, through chiropractic, specifically the top nerve that tells the heart to kind of slow down and reprocess, nutrition, supplements, we actually got his blood pressure way down. And then at that point, we kind of kept him on more of a wellness kind of regimen type deal. And about 3 months ago, he comes back and he says, "Hey, I got to go back in. They want to do something to my pacemaker. My blood pressure has shot up again. It's in the 160s, 170s. What do I do?" And I said, well, because I already knew his diet, I knew his exercise, I knew what supplements he was on. He was doing all the right things. I said, you know what? This is going to sound crazy, but I have this little sticker. I'm going to put it on you. And the thing about Tom, he's 78, right? He's like, listen, you're not putting my name out there on the internet, and I'm sure not putting my credit card on there. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll buy the patches, I'll give them to you, you pay me cash. And that's how we do it every single month. Within 3 weeks, his systemic pressure, the top number, went from the 150s to 160s all the way down to the 120s, 130s. It was amazing. So that was
really
my,
got you.
At that moment I said, this is it.
You started taking it serious.
When I started taking it serious.
Yeah, and you started working on other patients and...
Oh yeah, if you're walking in my office now, you're going to hear about the patch somehow, some way.
We talk about the copper peptides. Can you kind of jump in and talk a little bit about peptides and explain so we can all understand the importance of peptides?
Yes, so for those of you who don't know, peptides are really how this whole product works. Now, peptides can be anything from a few amino acids long, amino acids are the building blocks of protein, up to hundreds or over 100 sequences or amino acids long. When you start changing what peptides are doing, the way I look at peptides and proteins and enzymes is they're basically like the tools the body uses to get things done. And what you're seeing when you're using these patches is the manifestation of these proteins doing the work inside the body. And part of what finally, because I have a similar story to him, I was very skeptical. Renita would not stop blowing my phone up, and I'm grateful that she did. Because, you know, I get approached with tons of products. I'm probably only affiliated with a half a dozen brands at most because of the sheer number of products out there and the fact that I don't need a whole lot to get people better. So with peptides, the way that these peptides work, at least particularly the X39 and the X49, is they take free copper in your body and in your body's tissues and in your bloodstream, and they put it to work doing what it's supposed to be doing in the GHK and AHK peptides. The thing that I want you all to know about peptides is that peptides can also be injected. Now, why do they have to be injected? Because your stomach has got stomach acid and enzymes that break down proteins, amino acids, and peptides. That's why you can't eat GHK peptide or AHK peptide and get the therapeutic effects that you would get with the LifeWave patches, right? Otherwise, we'd put this in a pill, wouldn't we? Because people are ready to buy a pill. They're used to that. They're like a little bit more skeptical of patches. The thing is, if you're going to bypass the stomach, you have to put it through the skin. So what do? You draw it up with a needle. The most common peptide that all of you have heard of is actually called insulin. It was the first peptide used therapeutically in the world, and of course it's a life-saving medication. But now we're using more and more and more peptides. The world of anti-aging, regenerative medicine is just exploding with these peptides. Whole books are being written about them. More and more are being characterized, more and more are being synthesized. People are importing these from other countries. Compounding pharmacies are using them, and people are getting great results. But here's the thing. 80% of the public doesn't want to inject themselves or have their family inject them with anything. They just want to live their life and be left alone. The beauty of the LifeWave patches is that they provide the benefit of peptides without requiring the needles. You don't have to keep track of the needles. You don't have to worry about needle sticks or accidental needle sticks. You don't have to worry about contaminating yourself with somebody else with a needle. You don't have to worry about any of that. You don't have to go through the pain and discomfort. You don't have to get used to injecting yourself, which of course a lot of people have to because they may have diabetes or some other reason they've got to inject. And that was why I started to use them. The other reason why, and that's so important, is that I want you all to know that much of the disease that you're seeing today is related to minerals being dysregulated in the body. And I started to use minerals in my practice some years ago and was really shocked by the results. And that's why when I heard, oh, this is basically a platform that allows me to put minerals to work in the body, well, no wonder it's getting me great results. Copper in particular is really important because when copper gets free and is not bound to the proteins that it's supposed to be using or used by, it will create a lot of free radical damage and a lot of inflammation. And so the minute I saw, okay, people's symptoms are getting better or going away, and then they're actually regenerating, well, this makes sense. We're taking away the source of the damage, and we're actually putting it to good use.
My name is Dr. Tony Smith from Palmdale, California. I'm a doctor of chiropractic. I've been in practice for 30 years now. I'm in a multidisciplinary facility of orthopedic surgeons, pain management, general physician, and podiatry. I'm really excited to talk about the X39 because I've never seen anything like it. And the beauty of it is actually backed by science. And what I mean by that is that the X39 has been clinically proven to activate something called copper peptides. And copper peptides have actually been studied since 1973 and have multiple studies clinically proving that it does enhance our healing properties in our body. So some of the things that copper peptides do is activate our own body stem cell production. And as we age, our stem cell activity decreases significantly, so that's why we start to show our aging, we recover slower. But stem cells are the foundational cells of every tissue and organ in the body. So when we start to wake up that dormant system, a lot of things start to happen, and we actually can create some regeneration and within the body and improve our overall health and wellness. The other thing that copper peptides do is help reduce inflammation. They help with reinnervation, revascularization, help control pain. One of the other things I was really surprised in when I was doing some more research about it is that it actually has some anti-clotting factors to it, so it can be significant in that region as well. But one of the big things that goes on with copper peptides is it actually helps produce collagen, and collagen is the foundational cell of every ligament, tendon, and bone. And so, as we age, we start to see a decline in those regions as well. So if we want to be proactive and actually enhance our healing properties and possibly our bone density down the road, staying on the X39 can be very important and instrumental in our overall health and well-being. I know everybody wants immediate results. I mean, we live in a microwave society, so when anything happens, we expect it to happen, to be gone right away. But realistically, with the X39, it's working behind the scenes. It's doing the reinnervation, revascularization, all the other things, regeneration in our body. So it takes time to do that. Think if you have a cut or abrasion, how much time it takes to heal those types of issues, because the body works at a certain pace. And it depends on how healthy you are in the first place. But the whole point of it is that the X39 is not going to change your life overnight. It's a period of time that you need to wear it consistently for a longer period of time. And because it is working, whether you feel it or not, there are things going on in your body that is going to be instrumental in your health and well-being down the road. And I honestly believe, looking at all the research and everything about it, that the X39 can help not only enhance, maybe add days to our lives, not weeks, months, but I really believe that the X39 is going to wake up a dormant system in our body that's going to help us add years to our lives. And I truly believe that, and I think it'll make a big impact with a lot of people across the country. And I hope you just stay with it long enough to see the good and the benefits help with you. All right, thank you.
Can you tell us, so we know, and when we're talking to somebody, how much more powerful and the way it gets into your body through the X39 compared to anything else you've seen?
One of the things that's great about using light as medicine, which I want to make sure you all understand, this is how the patches work. It's light, and the light coming into the body, resonating at the right frequency, triggering the production of specific peptides that then do all of the work, right? So one of the amazing things about light that you have to remember is it works on the whole body, particularly through these patches, right? You can use light in localized areas, but these patches are really triggering these reactions throughout the body. What does that have to do with collagen? What I want you to understand about collagen is that collagen makes up a very high proportion of your structural proteins. So when women are particularly focused on collagen because they want their hair, their skin, their nails to look beautiful and lustrous and have that shine, right? When the collagen network breaks down, that's what they lose. And that's where you start to get the wrinkles. Inside, your organs become less and less robust, less and less basically put together. It's a little bit like the mortar between the bricks is starting to fall apart, and then the bricks are starting to crumble within that, right? Collagen is actually very protective of your body against cancers. When cancers are trying to get out of organs and into the bloodstream so they can spread, collagen is what keeps them in. So our collagen structure is one of the most important things that I focus on with my patients. And I focus on it, first of all, I start focusing on what's in their diet. But it doesn't matter what's in their diet if their gut wall doesn't have integrity, right? So what is Crohn's disease, as he mentioned in his example? It's a disease of the bowel where the bowel loses the capacity because it loses its integrity to absorb nutrition. This is part of why you're seeing such profound results. The body is better able to absorb nutrients. Then all over the body, within the tissues, it's already using the nutrients in a better way in order to have a more robust collagen structure. That's why you're hearing people talk about their hair, their skin, their nails, their eyes. That's why we've got a vascular surgeon up here who works on the vasculature, right? These things are collagen is what holds these things together. And if you don't have enough collagen, you basically fall apart, right? I don't have to tell you that you see people coming back together when they use these patches, and that's why.
Wow.
Hey guys, this is Tony Smith here, Doctor of Chiropractic. Hey, I wanted to come to you and shoot a quick video today talking about copper peptides. Now, many of you may not even have any idea what copper peptides are, but they're a very important component to our body because they do some significant things. They reduce inflammation, they reduce pain, they accelerate healing properties in our body. They help lay down collagen, which collagen is the foundation of ligament, tendon, and bone. They help with reinnervation of after an injury. They also help with revascularization of an injury site. They help prevent clotting factors in certain situations. So copper peptides are a huge deal with our body's recovery, and also they enhance our body's recovery from exercise and accelerate our body's ability to recover and regenerate. So very big component, but what happens with those is as we age, those copper peptides, the ability for them to be produced decline. And so you start to see our healing properties diminish as well with that, and you start to see other health factors raise up. Because again, if our body's not producing collagen, our skin tissue, wrinkles start to appear, our ligaments, tendons aren't as strong, our bone density isn't as strong. So copper peptides are a big factor in that. And so you've seen a lot of excitement. I was talking about the X39 stem cell activation patch. But one of the big components, or one of the big things that goes on with the X39 is that it activates the copper peptide in our body. And how it does that is through a simple process. A lot of people don't understand it, but it's based off infrared technology. It's infrared technology, or it's infrared that our body puts off infrared light, but it also is infrared from transient light that comes in. And so the founder of the company found a way to create a refraction of a certain wavelength to activate those copper peptides in our body. So it's not done by an injection. It's not a transdermal absorption where you're absorbing it through the skin. No other evasive way to bring it in, but it's a non-evasive, non-transdermal type patch that refracts light, that activates those copper peptides release and activity in our body. And it's a simple concept. Most people understand that if you stand out in the sun hits you, your body creates that sunlight into vitamin D. That's a photochemical reaction that our body naturally does, kind of like a photosynthesis for plants and stuff, but it's called photobiomodulation if you want to get real specific. But anyway, it's a photochemical reaction. Another thing that happens is when we stand out in the sun, our skin starts to turn darker. That's our body producing melanin. Now, melanin is another protection mechanism of our skin to protect from violet light, infrared light, or ultraviolet light, sorry. And but it's another photochemical reaction. Now, there's another photochemical reaction that happens is for males, if you stand out in the sunlight and you get sun on the shoulders, it actually increases the production of testosterone in your body. So that's another way to a photochemical reaction happens in our body. So what this particular scientist did is he found a way to create a certain wavelength from refracted light, create the wavelength that activates those copper peptides in our body to be more productive. And so there's significant healing properties that go on when you activate copper peptides in your body. So the patch itself does not have any chemicals in it or anything. It's just a sorry, let's go back. Organic nanocrystals that actually create the refraction of the wavelengths. And so anyway, it has a tremendous benefit, safe, non-invasive, effective, and affordable way to activate those copper peptides and do some significant healing properties. So it's activating a dormant system in our bodies to wake it back up and to promote some incredible things that our body can do naturally, but has slowed down over time. So